Well, bearing in mind that China Plus One has often been dubbed the key to de-risking by Western MNCs, I would actually note that Chinese companies are also undertaking their own China Plus One as they realize that American or European tariffs on directly China manufactured goods would only continually increase. There's a secular trend drifting towards more targeted protectionism and more targeted closure and also inhibition of trade flows between China and the global north. And as such, in order to circumvent these restrictive measures, Chinese enterprises have no choice but to move abroad and to seek joint ventures and enterprises with their counterparts in Southeast Asia, in the Gulf, and even Latin America. But here's where the challenge kicks in. Chinese enterprises may be very innovative in some industries, and there's certainly an immense and abundant volume of resourcefulness, innovativeness, and entrepreneurial dynamism from certain segments of the Chinese economy still, despite all that's happened over the past few years. And yet what I posit here is that many of these companies, management and leaders do not really understand the world beyond China, right? And it's natural because China's such a large market and have always thrived by just catering to domestic consumers, right? Such that even if their parts of the supply chains had been overseas, A, they weren't the mainstay, these overseas components, and B, there was no need on a part of these business owners and principals to know and understand the world beyond the borders of China. And yet the times have changed. Globalization, not just for the world at large, but also for individual businesses and enterprises and investors, has changed fundamentally. What's needed here is a more regionally oriented, strategically focused orientation in how investments and capital are deployed. And that is why Chinese firm owners have no choice but to go out themselves and to venture beyond their comfort zones. And this is where Hong Kong, as by far the freest and most open part of China, with free flows of information, we don't have the firewall, with free flows of capital and also talents and human capital, etc. That is why we can serve as basically a stepping stone, as a consultant of sorts, or a source of strategic advice for Chinese firms who are seeking to navigate this incredibly complex international environment.